All right, Mama. So after I have bench bled my brake reservoir in the vise, I come over here and I take my syringe and I suck the fluid back down, because the system that I'm going to use to bleed these brakes is made by Phoenix. And what you do is you start on the farthest wheel away, which would be the passenger rear, and you pressure bleed the new fluid through the system, and it'll push out all the air bubbles. So there's going to be possibly air bubbles trapped in the front, but that Phoenix system will push it through and get all the air bubbles out. And then as this reservoir fills up, I'll take my syringe, suck it back down until I've got no air bubbles coming out up here. So when you're doing brakes on a new car or one that you have restored, it don't hurt to put a little plastic down. That way, if you were to have a drip or something from your line, it drips on the plastic, then just throw it all away, because plastic is much easier to replace than having a spot melted from brake fluid on your brand new paint. So the first thing we got to do is we got to bleed the system. This is the Phoenix system. I've got 12 ounces of fresh fluid in the bottle. This right here will push air out, and see how it's sucking it through. It will fill this reservoir in the gun once I pump it through and there's no air bubbles. To see, once it pushes the bubbles back through into the bottle, then when I push new fluid up through the wheel cylinders and out the reservoir, it will be bubble free. All right, here we go. I got fresh fluid, no bubbles in the line, and I'm hooked up to the back side here. The system works good by yourself. There's no one to pump the brakes. Pumping the brakes pushes fluid from the reservoir through the lines, which makes it squirt up, underneath the cap of the actual reservoir. And so you've got to keep the lid on it, and then the lid gets wet underneath. And then when you take the lid off, you've got to make sure you don't drop the fluid anywhere. And so that just makes it that much harder to do. Just to give you a better idea of why this system really works good, in my opinion, is because this passenger side front, look at the nasty stuff that it pushed through the new line and out up here. So now I'll be able to suck the nasty out, clean up the little chunks.